Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another episode of my pond vlog. Well, it's maintenance day today. I have the hoover out. I'm going to give the bottom a bit of a hoover. I've got some fresh fleece on the floor over there ready to go in the top of the shower. And I already have the RO device trickling in to make up for the water that's going to go out in a minute when I hoover up. I've got a fresh brew of tea on and the iPod. I'm halfway through watching Andrew Daly's latest vlog, and I've got the shelter up because it's overcast and we have already had a little bit of rain, so I don't want to get wet. So it's a bit of a maintenance day today. Now I've been feeding the Evolution Aqua premium food 2 days now, and you would have seen me get that in the last video. And the fish absolutely love it, so thank you to Steve. That was a good recommendation. I should be feeding that for some time now, because 15 kilos with the size of my fish is going to last a little while. Hopefully see out the rest of this pond season. So without further ado, I'm going to get on with all my maintenance tasks. So I'll catch you all in a bit. Right, so that's all done. Only took me a few minutes, and that's pretty much my maintenance for the week. So the only other maintenance I'll have is changing the floss out in the top of the shower every couple of days. But it's fairly low maintenance at the minute. Next week I will run clean cycles on the pressure filter to clean that out. But I did about 5 cycles of the hoover, and it's dropped the water about 1 inch, so not horrendous. So that'll be trickling in off the RO system for the next 24 hours. And I might let it go a bit longer so the pond slightly overflows to get a bit more RO in. But it will all depend on whether we get this rain or not that is forecast, because if we get the rain, then that will obviously put a lot of acid water into the pond. So we had a couple of visitors last night. I didn't video them, but my granddaughters and my daughter visited for the first time since lockdown started. And my granddaughters are 3 and 5, and they loved hand feeding the koi. They had a go at hand feeding, which was quite good, which I should have filmed, but wasn't thinking at the time. Which would have been good to capture them and feeding the koi, but neither of them fell in, which was a result. So that's the update for now. We'll get back to you in a bit. Well, it's still Saturday. We've had a right mixed bag of weather today. Some very short torrential downpours, and followed by bright sunshine and warm weather. At the minute it's just a bit overclouded. Almost finished, or we're not almost topped up to full with the RO. I believe this is week 8. I've kind of lost track of where we are, but I believe this is week 8 for the pond. And I've just had the old test kits out, and pretty good results. The ammonia and nitrite was 0, the nitrate was at 5, pH is somewhere between 7 and 8, GH was KH was 5, which is perhaps a tad low, and GH was 8, so all pretty good results, to be fair. Just that KH is a tad low, which I was expecting because of doing top-ups with RO water. So I may put some bicarbonate of soda in today. I think the rate I saw was you put it in at a rate of half a cup per 1,000 gallons, and as I'm literally less than 100 gallons short of 2,000, I'll treat it as if it's 2,000. So a bit later I'm going to mix some bicarb up and put that in, which will probably upset the fish, because something I've learned about koi in these 8 weeks is they don't like change much, certainly with water. So I will do that in a bit. Right, I'm back, and just been thinking. In the last clip I said that I was going to add some bicarbonate of soda because the KH was 5. Well, actually a KH of 5 is not that bad, and I don't want to get into a chasing numbers habit. So while the fish are looking absolutely fine and the pH is above 7, I'm actually not going to add any bicarb at the moment. Of course, it's absolutely chucking it down on, as it's a Saturday. We had just had a right old thunderstorm come through, but at least the pond's refilled from the earlier hoovering I did, and the bottom looks nice and clean. You can't really see any poop on the bottom, so I think I'm going to stop this here and go back indoors. It's really rough. Catch you in a bit. Good Tuesday morning. Now I'll start off by saying that it's very windy, so if the mic isn't cutting out the wind noise, I apologise. I thought I'd give you a slightly different view of the pond while I rambled on this morning. So we're looking down the length of the pond. Now, had a bit of a problem this morning. The pond was very messy. There's a lot of particles in the water, and I realised it was about 10 days since I last cleaned out the pressure filter. I think what happens with that is it gets to like a saturation point with the sponges and it can't trap stuff so well. So I've done a couple of clean cycles, and I've got water going back in through Big Bertha, my dechlorinator. See over there in the distance. Also, I had an extra long day at work yesterday, so the floss, I keep calling it fleece. The floss on top of the backy shower went a day longer than I really wanted, and the water was kind of bypassing it because it was clogged. So that hasn't helped. So water clarity is a bit poor today. We'll do this big water change and then put some Mediclay in later, and hopefully that will sort out the water clarity. The fish are all fine, they're feeding like little pigs, so there's no issues with the fish. Just the water's not as clear as I'd like it, and as clear as it has been. Catch you in a bit. Good Wednesday morning. Well, Here's the pressure filter, and yesterday, because the pond looked like there was a few suspended bits and bobs in the water, I gave the pressure filter a double clean. So that means I turned the blue knob to the waste, and it runs through an electronic clean cycle where it agitates and cleans the sponges inside, and obviously removes quite a lot of water from the pond in the process. So I ran that cycle twice, dropped the pond about 10 to 11 centimetres, I'd say, and topped up with water through my dechlorinator. And I also cleaned the filter floss in the top of the backy, and just to show you, that's all it has collected in 24 hours. Now, considering there was quite a lot of suspended particles in the water yesterday, not a lot of it is getting through to the shower, which means the pressure filter sponges must be doing their job, which makes me come to the conclusion that perhaps after a week to 2 weeks, probably about 10 days, those sponges get overloaded and they need cleaning, and I need to make that maybe a weekly, or certainly every 10 days, part of my maintenance cycle on the pond. But the water, as I hope you can see, is pretty clear today. There's no suspended particles like there was yesterday, and fish are very happy. So what I did yesterday has done the trick. Happy days. Now, I'm not normally one for DIY, but there is a purpose for this black painted wooden stake that I've prepared this evening, and hopefully all will be revealed after my postman visits tomorrow. It's Thursday afternoon and we have a package for the pond, and the stake I showed earlier is a bit of a clue to what some of this items might be. I'll get it unpacked and get back to you. So we have some anti-heron devices, and if I take you over to the pond, you might just make out that between the lights now I've got fishing line. Now, this isn't because we've had a heron visit the pond, but it's because we're getting a new arrival, a puppy. And not any old puppy, we're getting a black Labrador puppy. And black Labradors, well, all Labradors like water. So the net is not really an option as an anti-heron device once we have this puppy, because of the risk of the puppy jumping in the pond, getting tangled in the net and drowning. I'd rather he jumped in the pond, swim about, and then we lift him out. Well, I'd rather he doesn't get in the pond at all. But, so what have we got? We have a fake heron, one of these reflector balls, and a sonic scarer, and that's what the poster's for. This sonic scarer will go on the post. So without further ado, I'll get all these things fitted and then get back to you. So, new measures are in place. The ball floating over there. Hilda the heron stood over there at the minute. Now, I am well aware you need to move these every few days, So who knows where she'll pop up next. And then for now, we've put the motion detector on a stake by the yellow flowers there. It pretty much covers this side, that end and that side of the pond. It doesn't cover that back end, but I'd be surprised if one would try and land in there so close to the house. Like I said, I've never seen a heron in the garden, and we have lots of crows and jackdaws about that I would guess would chase them off, because you never see any predatory birds around here, sparrowhawks or anything. But I'm just taking precautions just to be safe than sorry. The fishing line actually isn't too bad. You hardly see it. You certainly don't see it round the other sides. You just see it in front of you here. So that pretty much wraps up this week's video. I am fishing again at the weekend, so there may be a little bit of fishing content on the next video, if I catch some fish of course, or if one of the lads catches something special. If not, well, whatever happens, I will see you in the next video. Take care. See you later.